Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal, and joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua, Gangsta Time Code.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
It's good, Chris. What up, everybody listening?
Oh, yeah. Also joining us is the triumphant return of the Edgelord himself. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース
What's up, nerds? Hey, he's back, baby! Very excited. Very excited. We have a ton of great manga to talk about. Very excited to get into it this week. But before we do, let's get into plugs real fast. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole_37. That's on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh. That's on X.
Ooh, Brian.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Hell yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys wanted to talk about. Hit us up on that. We answer all questions and address all comments on our pre-show chat show that we do every week. Where we generally just kind of shoot the shit about stuff, whether it's manga or, sports or movies or whatever we're currently watching. So hit us up on that. Check out the show. We have a good time doing it. And do that. Subscribe to us on YouTube and on Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts. It helps a lot to keep listening in these various platforms. You can give us a like, a share, all that stuff. Leave us a 5-star review if you're nasty. And that's it. That's it for plugs. It's time to get into the show proper. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1106 on your side. Last we left off, a lot of shit is going down, and it's not looking good for everybody. Kizaru and Jay Garcia are not making it easy on the Straw Hats' attempts to escape. Whereas we see that Kuma, Bonnie, what's her face? The one of the satellites. I want to say Astra, but I feel like that's wrong. Atlas. Thank you, Brian. Atlas and Bonnie and Frankie, of course, are now flying through the air, about to get shot up by a bunch of pacifistas on the ground. And we saw that the ship that Jay Garcia had once thought was going to was like carrying escapees from Egghead had been destroyed, actually survived, and it was the Navy people that went after them that were destroyed. And we didn't know by who, but we know that they're heading to the island. So that's where we were left. And this chapter starts off with assuming the people who attacked that Navy ship, saying that, look at him, go at it. just like the paper said. And we cut over to Luffy, who has just digested all the food he just ate. And he immediately assumes Gear 5 form, which is pretty sick. And the Buster Call is continuing. Kuma and Bonnie are about to get shot up. But then Bonnie screams out, after Atlas seems to tell her something, Bonnie screams out that to the pacifistas to not shoot them and to help them escape the island. And after that, they turn around and immediately shoot at the Navy. It's pretty fucking cool. I was like, oh my God, in my own mind when I was reading this. Jay Garcia is tight. He's like, what? What the hell? And we get a little monologue from Vegapunk saying that the one worry he had in the back of his mind was seeing Bonnie killed by the father she loved. So he inserted a directive into each unit made to look like Kuma, that even if the highest authority in the world should command it, even if the whole world should be her enemy, that the Kumas will actually always be on her side. Bonnie is technically the highest authority on the food chain when it comes to the pacifistas. And Vegapunk ends this by saying, like, this is just a selfish wish of mine, and it means I know what comes next. And Jay Garcia stabs his spider leg into Vegapunk's chest. Pretty fucking crazy. And, you know, it's not looking good. Bonnie screams out, Vegapunk, so does Frankie. Jay Garcia is super upset. Not looking good. He immediately just turns to Kizaru and commands them to eliminate them. He shoots up Kuma and Atlas full of holes. I think Frankie got tagged too. I can't really tell. But yeah, Frankie got hit pretty bad. So did Sanji, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sanji kicked it.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, he got hit.
Yeah, he got
hit too.
Fucking Kizaru pulls up with his lightsaber and he's like, I'll cut you both in two, Bonnie. Don't worry, it won't hurt. But that's when Luffy comes in and rocks the shit out of Kizaru, sending him right back. And Kuma and Bonnie are able to land safely. Bonnie runs up to Vegapunk, and Vegapunk explains that the very same Straw Hat Luffy that Kuma had his eyes on was Nika, the sun god. And, you know, he says Kuma was right. This Buster Call is futile. For centuries, people all over the world have been waiting for him. And at the northeast coast, the chapter ends in a big 2-page spread showing that the people who are heading towards the island are actually Dory and Bragi, the captains of the giant pirates, and they start attacking the Buster Call. And super hype times ensue. That's the end of the chapter. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1106?
I really like the way this chapter was set up, because the backstory we got with Okuma and Bonnie, they, like, Nika was kind of like more of a background note, I guess, like in the grand scheme of everything they wanted to, like, you know, show us and talk about. But, you know, we already had a conversation about, like, how important, like, Luffy should be to her, knowing that, you know, how much her father revered him, etc., etc. And, you know, now that she sees him in this form, I think there is a 110% chance that she joins the Straw Hats after this arc. And if you take note, that's 10% more than 100. Yeah.
Oh,
so, for sure.
I did want to add one thing I forgot to mention. The giant robot from, like, the way before times actually activates as well when Luffy reachieves Gear 5. Just wanted to point that out because I forgot.
Or when Vegapunk dies.
Also that's also possible.
Or it could be activating because the other giants.
I mean, Vegapunk didn't die, though.
Yeah, Vegapunk's still alive, technically. It could also be because of the giants. A lot of things could activate this thing, probably. We don't know.
I looked up some like, you know, quick facts about the One Piece series. Did you know that every time they show giants in a One Piece chapter, an angel gets its wings?
A lot of angels must have gotten its wings during Little Garden then.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of angels are about to get their wings because they're going to Elbaf.
Yep. There is a very real possibility that Oda can achieve world peace with just one arc and a bunch of giants. And I don't know where that would place a person, like, in history. But me personally, he'd be number one. the most, like, you know what I'm saying? The best person in all of humankind.
Yeah, hard to make that argument.
Second is the person that figured out the wheel, or the people that did.
What about the guy that discovered fire?
Fire, oh, it was just there. What you talking about?
Well, someone had to discover it. Someone had to
What
be
about
like,
man?
Oh,
What about
well, I
man-made
guess like
fire?
the person, the people that like first started to like utilize fire. I
Yeah,
guess
like
like they
man-made
use it as a
fire.
tool. Yeah, I mean, that's yeah, all right. That's number 2. All right, then the wheel, I guess.
what about Jesus Christ?
Pass. They up there though.
Yeah.
They up there. So anyway, yeah. I mean, those are overall my overall thoughts of the chapter. Like, I did not. I don't know why I didn't see this coming. that you know, Kuma, the robots would listen to Bonnie. You know.
Yeah.
I
I agree.
It makes total sense.
I should have been like, oh wow, that's one of those twists that you're like so caught up in the moment you don't even think about.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah. Well,
I could have guessed that.
If he didn't do the self destruct sequence, what else did he do? So he took liberties.
Yeah.
Brian, what are your thoughts?
I was thinking whether I should give it RGC, but I don't think I can.
Wow.
Fuck it, RGC.
Yeah. For the record, it's my RGC as well. Josh, was it yours?
No.
All right, fine. It gets a regular, really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
2 of them.
Oh, I got to do
Oh yeah.
Hit.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
I mean, this was my second favorite, you know? It was
Yeah.
close. It was close. It was close.
There's been a lot of discourse about this chapter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of people are not
Put my headphones
fond.
up.
A lot of people are not fond with the fact that Luffy is a jokester.
We've been down this road already.
People are like, oh my god, bro. Remember when Luffy used to take fights seriously, bro? Oh my god, Gear 5 is so fucking lame.
He never fucking took fights seriously. What are they talking about?
Look, I'm not even going to entertain this.
Am I watching the same series?
I'm not even going to entertain this. We've been down this road when Gear 5 first appeared. We're not going to deal with these people anymore.
When I'm in Whole Cake Island, right? And I watched a fight where Luffy said, I don't know how to fight in any way other than serious. And then immediately got giant and fucking fat off of eating biscuits. Like,
Yeah.
like, really? We're gonna say that this guy isn't a silly fighter?
I remember when in Skypiea, he turned off his common sense and started like just waving around on instinct, but had to stop doing that because he realized, oh, I can't attack like this because I'm not thinking about anything. When he first showed off Gear 3 and he became small, he was just like, this is just what it is.
Yeah.
I hate that I have to be small.
This is who I am now. But now for my actual thoughts on the chapter. I thought I really, really fucking love that Dorian Broggy showed up at the end here. Just because, man, it just brings you all the way fucking back. Because the last time they saw these guys, they didn't even know that hockey existed. They didn't even... They were literally just starting their journey. And now they're like towards the end of their journey and they get to see these guys again. It's just such a treat to see how much they've grown from where they first met Dorian Broggy to now. but it also raises a few questions, right? Like, did Dory and Broggy come here on their own, like just because they were like, oh shit, yo, some shit's going down over there. Oh, it's my boy Luffy, let's go.
They read about it in the papers.
They could have read it in the papers, or Shanks could have also said.
No, they mentioned it.
Oh, they mentioned it.
Yeah, they said, "Look at him going out at it," just like the paper said.
Yeah, but he was with Shanks. They were with Shanks before they came here, right?
I'm not denying it, but they probably read it in a newspaper.
I just wonder if how much, like, are they a part of Shanks's fleet, or are they like just hanging out with him because he's sick like that, you know?
It's possible. But I think they're just hanging out with him because but I I don't know. I don't know either way. My gut feeling is that they're not part of the fleet necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like friends for sure.
It was really sweet to see them. And also, is it said in the papers that Luffy's Nika?
They said that he's on Egghead. I think they did their best to not reveal that he has the Nika fruit.
So that means the Giants must know more about Nika because they name dropped Nika in this chapter.
Yeah, I mean the Giants don't fuck with the world government, so it's very likely they know. They're not they're not allied with the world government, so
this just adds a lot more like specialty to what we're about to see on Elbaf, because Elbaf is about to be an insanely important fucking arc. Like, this is just this arc, as good as it is just a precursor to what's about to happen on Elbaf. Like, Elbaf is going to change this series in a way that, like, it will never be the same after it. I'm pretty sure, because we're gonna learn more about like the Void Century. We're gonna learn more about Nika. We're gonna learn more about Giants since they've been around for centuries. No, not God willing. That's literally what they set up in this arc, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, we're going
all the research from Ohara is on Elbaf.
I don't know if it's on. I don't know if the research from Ohara is on Elbaf, because
if Saul is the man marked by flames, then all the research is on Elbaf.
No, but they destroyed the research. I remember because I just read Enies Lobby in that flashback.
No, because remember they recovered it. They saved it. They revealed that in this arc that they saved the research.
Did they save the research?
Yeah, they saved the research from Ohara. Then they did it in the Vegapunk's flashback. And the man marked by flames has it, or at least like Saul has it. We don't know if he's the man marked by flames, but he has Ohara's research before it got destroyed. Because they showed in Vegapunk's flashback that the Giants came to help save it, recover the research.
Or at least whatever they could.
Yeah, whatever they could. But
yeah, I'm sure they have plenty of information.
There's just a lot. There's a lot that's going to happen on Elbaf, or at least a lot that's going to continue to be set up, because. And also Dorian Broggy being here also shows more of a way for them to get to Elbaf easier now, because they literally have 2 legendary giants to transport them over. It just seems like more and more.
2 pirates from Little Garden?
Yeah, from the start.
Wow.
So yeah, this is a like the fruits of their labor coming back and showing that how much impact they have over the world, right? Because they met these guys realistically like 2 years ago, and now they're seeing them again in the most dangerous part of the world. It's just really, really awesome to see.
Yeah, that is cool.
And Luffy single-handedly solving every problem that the last chapter ended on was also really fucking awesome to see too. Like, our boy is really a fucking emperor. That guy is really about it now.
Yeah.
Swinging on admirals.
You're right, by the way, Brian. All of O'Hara's books are on Elbaf.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So Robin's going to get a lot of shine on Elbaf, too.
Yeah, because she's never read it. They didn't let her read it, so...
It's going to be a Luffy, Robin, and Usopp arc. They have 3 separate Straw Hats that have a lot tied to Elbaf. It's just going to be such a fucking treat. And even though this is probably the best arc in One Piece so far, I feel like I can't help but feel excited for Elbaf after seeing Dory and Bragi, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know how you feel.
Well, those are all my thoughts.
Yeah, this was my really good chapter of the week, obviously. I mean, Dory and Bragi aside, which I didn't see coming. I didn't think it was them. I remember
Nobody saw him coming.
I remember when I saw like that ship was destroyed, I thought it was like the Blackbeard pirates still.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was them. It was the giant pirates, which was pretty cool. So it was good to see them. I see them like crush a Buster Call pretty easy. I feel like the giants couldn't be eliminated by the military because like the Buster Call simply wouldn't work on them.
They'll be like, "Oh, there's a bunch of ships. Let's just slap it away."
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun to see. Just like the pacing of this chapter was so cool. I'm glad Luffy's back. I got so hyped for that. Bonnie being the ultimate authority on the pacifistas is actually a pretty big deal if she joins the crew. Like, she basically is the fucking commander of all the pacifistas. Although my guess is that if York survives, she'll change that after this arc is over.
I don't think she can.
She knows everything Vegapunk knows.
Yeah, but it's built into every... She would have to get to every pacifista, like,
not right now.
No?
But, I feel like after this arc is over and everybody retreats, I don't think they would just let Bonnie continue to be the overall ruler of the pacifistas. I feel like they'd have to create some kind of a measure against that. But it's always good to see Kizaru get rocked by Luffy. I don't think he's joining the crew.
You don't know that yet.
I think it's over for the guy. He almost chopped his friends in half.
He's clearly dragging his feet while fighting right now, for sure.
Definitely. He doesn't want to do it.
I'm sorry, Brian. But I have to retire from the call.
He shot up his friends. He shot up Frankie and Sanji. He almost cut Bonnie.
He almost sliced.
He almost cut Bonnie and Kuma in half. I think it's a wrap for him.
He might end up helping them.
I think he will probably betray the government at some point. I just don't think he'll join Luffy.
You'll see.
I suppose we will.
I still have faith.
I respect you a lot for that, Brian.
Yeah. The giant robot activating is very interesting. I'm wondering to see how that happens. I don't know if there's going to be a new chapter this week because the app doesn't tell me. So my guess is that it'll probably be off next week.
Yeah.
If it don't tell you immediately that it'll be back next week, I'm assuming it's not going to be here next week, which it's unfortunate because Oda is cooking right now.
He's a busy man.
Yeah. But, this chapter was fucking extraordinary. Had a great time reading it. I was like, oh my God, left to right. Vegapunk got stabbed through the heart. He may actually die because New World, slightly more people have died in the New World than in regular One Piece. So.
That's true.
When people die, when people get mortally wounded, there is a chance they might actually die. We'll have to see about that one. I thought it was sick though. This whole chapter.
I think before Vegapunk dies, he's going to his final project is going to come to light. And he's going to use the Vegapunk antenna to send a brainwave to everyone on the world about what's happening with the world government.
Well, to be fair, that thing is his brain. So I don't know how much he... You know, I was wondering about that. Is like, what is his escape plan? Because that thing on top is his head still. Like, what happens? What happens when you leave?
I don't think he's going to escape. I think that he, in his dying breath, he's going to tell the world about what's happening. Like, he's going to basically... I don't know what he'll show, but everybody's gonna see it, and then that's gonna make the revolutionary army more prominent in the story.
If he dies, do his satellites die?
I don't think so, because maybe his brain just stays functioning, because it's functioning without him being connected to it now. So why would it matter if he's alive or dead, right?
Well, because it's his brain.
Yeah, but it's not attached to him anymore, so it could just be a functioning organ without him now.
I guess so.
Because if they didn't need him, if they needed him for the brain, you know, they wouldn't have killed him. I think if they knew that it could sustain without him, then
well, Jay Garcia doesn't really care about him. He's like, I'll kill you. I don't care.
Yeah, but the brain is still pretty good.
We'll see, I guess. By the way, I think it's like Luffy's heartbeat also that's waking up this giant robot thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
some people think that Brook needs to play a song to the heartbeat for the robot to wake up.
Brook?
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, in any case, those are all my thoughts on One Piece. Fantastic chapter. I hope it's not on break next week, but it probably is. And I accept it. Oda, get your rest. We need you to continue this series. But with that being said, are we ready to move on to the next chapter?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yup.
Let's go.
This is just some really murderous shit.
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 249, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown, part 21. And we cut a little earlier into the series, into the story where Okotsu first cuts Kenjaku's head off. And Kenjaku is like, my will be carried on. And his body still moves for a second. But that's because all of the curses that were under his curse manipulation technique just started to break out and go on a rampage. Rika seems to manage to kill a bunch of them, which pretty cool. And in the meantime, Kenjaku in his last moments adds a rule using Kogane to, give Megumi Fushiguro the authority to activate the merger with Tengen, and Kogane does just that. So, Kenjaku is like, I need a backup plan. Sukuna has undergone the ritual succession. Now, if I use the culling game as the basis to overriding the originator of the ritual for merging, and I guess Tengen breaks out again, and he just flies over to where Sukuna is. But at that moment, Okotsu manages to kill Kenjaku once and for all. He says, it wasn't 1,000 years of worth of fun, but I'm glad I fooled around with that guy at the end. You guys are next. I'm sure it'll be amusing. And we cut to present day where we see Rika, Okotsu, and Sukuna about to go at it. Okotsu notices that Sukuna is now able to heal using reverse curse technique again. And it's only a matter of time before he can use his domain. So, even worse, he defeated Higuruma because he didn't stay. But, he thinks he starts to doubt himself. It's like, would it have been better to send Maki instead of me? And he's like, no, Rika's strength would have been indispensable for reducing human fatalities if the out of control cursed spirit manipulation technique had caused damage. So, you know, he made the right move, but he's just now got to, you know, do what he's got to do against Sukuna. So he immediately attacks Sukuna. They go back and forth for a minute, fighting back and forth, and he's thinking to himself, he's like, I've been making excuses. I wanted to defeat Kenjaku with my own hands. I created the situation. So he unlocks his domain expansion, which we finally see is authentic mutual love, which is this weird broken, I guess, just demolished building type setting with a bunch of katanas around. And Sukuna immediately casts Hollow Wicker Basket.
By the way, real quick, the little knots are a Japanese tradition for weddings and funerals.
Oh, fun fact.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
So yeah, Sukuna immediately activates Hollow Wicker Basket, which is a simple domain, I guess, that you can. I remember Reggie did this. It just kind of helps negate the can't miss technique.
Yeah, I wonder if Sukuna knew about this before he got into Megumi's body or after.
What do you mean?
Because
about what?
About Hollow Wicker Basket.
Oh, I think he knew, because Hollow Wicker Basket is a fairly common technique apparently in the old days.
Ah, okay.
Because Reggie was an ancient sorcerer, so he used it as a means to do that.
How come he never used it when he was fighting Gojo?
I don't know, because he was also trying to unlock his own domain. Well, I think the only reason he's doing it now is because he can't unlock his own domain yet. If he could do Malevolent Shrine, I'm sure he would.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
So yeah, not Sukuna. Okotsu just tries to slash at him. I don't know, with his technique, Thin Icebreaker. We still don't know the particulars of what Okotsu's domain is, but I guess we'll figure that out at some point.
Thin Icebreaker is one of the ancient sorcerer's techniques. The girl that can pull shit, that can pull reality.
Oh, the air girl?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't remember.
That's her first technique.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, maybe he could just like use a ton of people's techniques in this domain.
So yeah, so the theory right now is that every sword resembles another curse technique.
Oh, that's sick.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, goddamn. Of course, it's so cool.
Yeah, he's goated, isn't he?
Yeah, it seems that the sword disappears, so maybe he can only use these techniques once. But this is a lot of techniques. Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, he's been around. Like, you know, he's seen a lot of cursed users. He also went to Africa with Miguel. Is that where he went?
Yeah.
So maybe he got some cursed techniques from there too.
Yeah. In any case, Sukuna starts to like kind of figure out what their plan is. He figures like, okay, I know he can copy techniques, and he's thinking they want to keep half his arms and his mouth busy, but keep making him use Hollow Wicker Basket as a means of countering the can't miss attack. To attack with the Unlimited Curse technique copy, which appears to only activate within the domain. And then he remembers when Itadori hit him with these new weird modded arms of his, and he thinks then the boy will deliver a blow that captures the soul and tear Megumi Fushigoro's body from my body. And he's like, how nice, everyone has a role. We see Rika's there too, so Rika is probably within the domain right now. But that's where the chapter ends. Fucking pretty sick chapter. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 249?
This was my RGC.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really close for
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
I'm really happy we got to see Okkotsu's domain. However, there's still a few things I'm confused about.
Okay.
So he's using a hollow wicker basket to nullify the automatic guaranteed hit of the domain. Yet and still, Okkotsu is hitting him with abilities within his domain. Granted, they're not can't miss attacks. There's another form of attack. So it's just like in multiple layers. It's kind of interesting. Like I guess it kind of makes me wonder, like what is the automatic attack? Is it Rika just coming in to beat the shit out of you? That's pretty terrifying.
No, the automatic attack is that Okkotsu's whatever Okkotsu uses will hit him no matter what. So the hollow wicker basket is basically a shield.
So if he busts out hollow purple, that shit will hit him. Like 100%.
Well, that's assuming Okkotsu can use hollow purple.
Yeah, but that was just an example.
Mm-hmm. But the simple domain known as hollow wicker basket kind of softens the blow, or would counter a can't miss attack by being basically a shield.
How often can he use that though?
Sukuna could probably use it as much as he wants, because it's not like that crazy of a technique, because it's a variation of a simple domain.
So what's the difference between hollow wicker basket and what what's his name, Kusakabe does?
I mean, it's different uses, Like the simple domain is they allow themselves to get an automatic hit on their attack. Like when Miwa does it, her sheath it's bound to hit no matter what because she activated the simple domain. That's the conditions of their simple domain. Hollow wicker basket is meant to directly counter when you're stuck in someone else's domain.
So new shadow style is offensive and hollow wicker basket is defensive?
Yeah.
Essentially? Okay. That makes sense.
Kusakabe used simple domain defensively.
Yeah, he does use it very defensively.
I think Sukuna just uses the whisker basket because he's also ancient.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the hollow wicker basket is an old man's game in this, We first saw it when Reggie did it, so.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Okay, so the new shadow style simple domain is. Wait, didn't Gojo use that too?
Yeah, no, it's not like it's not a unique like anybody can do a simple domain.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to remember who's used that one specifically, because that one also, this one weakens attacks. So like he used it to reduce the damage of Sukuna's slashes, right? But I'm just trying to see why, like what specifically hollow wicker basket does. Like, because does that mean that it automatically blocks damage for you, or does it just tank it for you?
I think that's what it does. Is it
okay? I found it.
It blocks the guaranteed hit. Like I think. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
The technique is invoked by a hand sign where the user folds fingers between one another, extends their arm forward. As implicated by its name, hollow wicker basket takes the form of a spherical woven basket-like shield around the user. It neutralizes a domain's barrier imbued with a curse technique to nullify its guaranteed hit.
Oh, however, so it's a domain-specific simple domain.
Yeah, it's
okay,
however, it cannot neutralize curse techniques themselves, making it ineffective.
There you go. That's it. So
it's just a shield.
Shadow style
going on.
It's think of it as a kind of a shield, like a Smash Brothers shield.
Yeah, it's like domain like specific.
Someone even described Sukuna's use of it in response to Yuto Kotsu's authentic mutual love. Sukuna used Hollow Wicker Basket to neutralize the domain barrier and disable the sure hit effect. Due to the imbused technique being Angel's technique extinguishment, Sukuna is forced to maintain the anti-domain technique, thus occupying half of his hands and half of his arms and mouths.
Oh yeah, I guess he does have access to Jacob's ladder.
Well, yeah, he's also using the Angel's innate technique, which negates all other curse techniques. So Sukuna can't really use, I guess, like he can't use his domain probably within this. So, but he can only use the simple domain.
Yeah. All right. I see. Because I guess Okotsu can imbue whichever curse technique he wants to like automatically hit him within the domain, which would be the Angel's curse technique, because that's the one that could actually like hit him. I guess and like or whatever. So he had to block that one. I guess that's what he's using the wicker basket for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that so Okotsu has to get him in other ways. He might. I guess I feel like he might still be able to use the Angel's curse technique just manually, like without it being the specific attack of the barrier. But maybe because it's a one-time thing, he just locked it in with that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna find out more.
I think about it as a shield that kind of like dulled the attack. That's why he still took some damage, but because of the Hollow Wicker Basket, it wasn't a direct surefire hit.
Yeah, that's so sick. Man, the more you think about this series, the more in depth it gets. That's like the kind of shit I miss from Hunter x Hunter,
Yeah.
So good.
You were what else was it? What did you have any other questions about this, Josh?
No, not really. I mean, I guess you guys can give you. I mean, we've all given a lot of thoughts, but if you have any specific ones, Brian.
I just wonder how much of a curse technique can Yuta use? Like, can he only use specific ability, like specific techniques, or can he like utilize the full extent of a curse technique? Obviously minus the domain expansions, right? But like, how much of these abilities can he play around with?
Yeah.
And I wonder, we're probably going to get like an explanation from Sukuna on how this domain expansion works, to be honest. Next chapter. But it's fun to think about like the specifics of how this thing works before kind of Sukuna spells it out for us. I don't know. This brought up a lot of questions, and the domain expansion looks fucking sick. And Yuji and Rika being in there with Yuta is going to be a really tough task for Sukuna to overcome. I just wonder what he'll do to counter it, aside from like, buying time until his domain expansion comes up. So we'll see. I don't have much else to say aside from being very excited about what's about to happen next chapter.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we got to see Okotsu's domain before he's probably destroyed. It was the one thing I wanted to see, is that how much has he grown in this regard. It was good to see that Kenjaku is for sure dead.
At least that's what you think.
Well, it looks he's dead. All right, I'm choosing to believe that.
Wait, what if to get out of this situation, Sukuna activates the merger?
Well, he is, but he's like trying to kill everyone first.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what if he does it early to get out of the situation?
I don't think he would. He wants to like fight, you know? I think he wants to scrap. He said first I'm going to kill you, and then everybody here, and then the Culling Game players, and then I'm going to do the merger.
Yeah.
Because he definitely has to kill all the Culling Game players first before he even activates the merger. So either way, he has to beat Okotsu no matter what before even doing it. Yeah, I'm very excited for Itadori's role in all this. We finally get like an inkling at what his arms are about.
Yeah.
Because we saw it earlier that Sukuna felt a little something when he punched him, and we think it was because of Itadori's like raw strength, but it's actually because it seems that his arms have the capability to pull Fushiguro out of there.
Some people are saying that there's a chance that Yuji is like soul swapping with people during fights to get their techniques.
It's possible. I mean, we don't know yet.
I think that would be sick if that's the case. Like, he just has like a Rolodex of people just coming in and out using their abilities.
Yeah, I just want to know what.
Yo, I think Brian's on to something because Sukuna has mentioned it a handful of times that everybody has advanced pretty quickly in reverse curse technique and just overall durability. I think there's some type of like soul link too. I think there's something going on, yo. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I know they have like stuff under their sleeve.
But that's an interesting ability to be able to knock the fucking soul, Megumi's soul, out of his body. That's
like Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
you remember in Doctor Strange where she would just like soul push people? That would be sick.
That would be.
But yeah, I mean, super cool chapter. Obviously, my second place, to be honest. I had a great time reading this as well. When Oda cooks, he cooks. So, you know. But overall, very excited. I just noticed that like he just smacked the shit out of Rika here. in page 11.
Yeah,
I didn't
he did.
I didn't even peep
I
that
don't think he backhanded him.
Yeah, she just
kind of like hit her with his arm.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny in the corner of my eye. I just saw that. Well, yeah, you know.
Get up on my face. Yeah, she got hit right in the face.
Get off me.
But she's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
She can't get sliced, bro. She can't.
Please don't get sliced.
Please don't get sliced.
I just want something to be okay. I just want it to be okay.
I just want them to be in one piece.
Yeah. But yeah, those are all my thoughts, really. I had a great time reading this. Very excited for the next chapter, which it's not on break next week. So that's exciting.
All right, I got a quick question for y'all.
What?
If any Jujutsu Kaisen character could and should be a Straw Hat team member, who would it be?
Itadori, probably.
You got feeling?
Yeah, it would probably be Itadori.
Really?
Who do you think?
Actually, maybe Megumi. Nobara and Nami have too much crossover.
I guess.
Well, they get along then.
I think it would be Megumi, to be honest. Like, it has to be somebody who like
Panda,
absolutely. There you go. That's the winner there. Panda, definitely. Oda couldn't resist. That's probably why he likes this series. He's waiting for Panda. He's like, oh, come on, please. Just do one more thing.
Panda's already in the series.
Man.
Oh, yeah, Panda is. Well, no, he's not.
Beppo.
Beppo's a polar bear.
Same bear.
Not
wow, bro. Wow. Get your shit straight, Brian.
Come on,
polar bears together, are not pandas. That was egregious, bro. And you've offended you've offended bear fanatics everywhere. I hope you're ready to incur the wrath of their community.
This is the bear enthusiast.
But I will be here with you, though.
The bear enthusiast community is very strong, Brian. I don't know if you know this.
Brian's whole world is blown right now. He's like, "Oh, I can't believe
it.
Are too different."
I've got to change my name. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. I gotta go under.
Feels uncomfortable,
I didn't think about how many bears there were in the world.
How many different types of bears? All right. Well, Brian's insensitivity towards bears, notwithstanding, are we ready to move on?
My bad, bear community.
All right, let's move onward. World Trigger. Whoo-wee. This is World Trigger, chapter 239.
World Trigger Express.
Yeah, the Away Mission Test, part 35. Okay, so this is a 40-page chapter. And a lot of it is about them assembling Tryon soldiers. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible because this is a lot of information. I'll give you the highlights, though. We start with OG Squad. They're all building their little mechs. We see we see that Ikoma made a poop-shaped little rad for his Tryon soldier. And
yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, but OG made this cool, like, shoulder mount Tryon soldier that honestly is probably my favorite design for a Tryon soldier. It seems so useful to have a little buddy on your shoulder and then they just shoot out beams.
Yeah.
It's an auto target.
Oh yeah.
That was so cool. I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Meanwhile in Kurama Squad, we see Yuba is struggling with making his. We get the intricacies of making these things. There's different points that could be attributed, and a lot of people are struggling with how to evenly distribute these points to make a well-balanced Tryon soldier. One of the members of Kuruma Squad makes just basically a flying radar, because they obviously don't all have to be offensively focused. We see that Taichi from Kakizaki Squad made more mobile Tryon soldiers that are focused on getting civilians out of the way, which I liked a lot. I thought was really cool and really smart. He also made a Tryon mount dog thing for snipers, so they can ride away when they're found, which is pretty cool. Although the special battle sims only involve, more offensive Tryon soldiers. But Taichi reveals that he didn't really make these with the battle sims in mind. He was just making them generally. So
Yeah, this feels like the first time in this arc where I feel like something can be applied outside of this simulation.
Yeah. Applications there.
So good things are happening. We cut over to Mizukami Squad, who is, just Mizukami himself is making just kind of like balanced soldiers, not particularly creative. His people ask him if there's any strategies that they need to adhere to today, and Mizukami's like, nah, you guys could do what you want with these. You figure it out for yourselves. So I don't remember exactly what their strategy for this was, but don't be the team that.
No, if I may,
please.
I feel like the gist of of this strategy meeting was that he didn't Mizukage didn't really know which route they should definitely go in, and it didn't really help that his ideas pretty heavily differed from the rest, from a couple other teammates, design wise and strategy wise. Because Mizukage wanted to use cheap, gimmicky, offensive stuff, and the other guys wanted to use like balanced, soldiers. So I guess at the end of the day, like they kind of decided that they're just gonna like not linger too much on what the opponent can do, because they could literally do anything. It's the first round, and that's kind of a theme with a few of the other teams too, like where a point is made that every team is kind of dealing with that, the premise of, oh, we don't know what to prepare for specifically, so we might as well take the initiative and try to overwhelm our opponents. But that's what he did. Mizukage basically took a back seat once the other team members helped him get over that apprehension with taking a step forward. So because he couldn't, I guess he used the example pretty well himself. Like he feels like he's playing chess where he has no idea what the opponent's pieces do.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't even like prepare like a defense or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you're better off being proactive instead of being reactive in the first round.
Yeah, and we see that
Gotta break that down in the next few pages.
Yeah, we see that the A rank agents that are watching them are seeing as much. Wakamura's squad is talking about how one of them read over the rules, and they say that they could force a draw if they wanted to. They said that you earn equal points to the enemy's unit's creation cost, and if the points gap in the end is less than 2,000, then the match is a draw. So the idea is that they would deploy 5 super cheap units whose total costs are under 2,000. That way, the opponent can never earn 2,000 points no matter what, because even if they destroy all of the Tryon soldiers, it wouldn't amount to 2,000 points.
Pretty cheesy strategy.
Yeah, Wakamura mentions that we could sit back and earn no points ourselves, but since the other squads can't possibly reach 2,000, then according to the rules, the fight ends in a draw. And Wakamura is like, whoa, by cheesing like that, we could get through these special battle sims without a single loss, technically.
Yeah, because you still get points for drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think her name is Moria. She mentions that like the draws are not worth as much. You only get 20 points for a draw, while a win gets you 100. So forcing a draw in all 10
and the
matches,
other team gets the 20. Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say like there's also the point that the other team gets 20 points too.
Oh yeah,
if you draw, so you're not gaining anything. And then when teams do win, they're gonna have a lot more points than you. She said there was a good what did she say? Basically, like forcing a draw in 10 matches would amount to 200 points, which is no better than 2 wins and 8 losses. So she's like, we can do better than that. We can aim higher than just aiming for draws.
Yeah.
But they also, another good point was brought up that like, well, I guess I'm kind of skipping ahead, but regarding their strategy, like another point was brought up that they could use that strategy to draw against like superior teams, as a last resort or something like that. They feel like they're going to be like outmatched. That way they prevent the top teams from advancing much more, many points, and from them, not getting any at all.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was pretty wide.
Yeah, Hughes mentions that, but Rokudera is against it because basically everybody in this team has squad mates in the upper echelon teams. So essentially, and they help and those teams help them out. like earlier, so he doesn't want to go back on his word and betray those people. And it's at that point we actually get to see Tsukuhiko Amo, the other S rank agent. I don't think we've seen him in a long time, so apparently he's been watching these matches himself. And he starts thinking to himself, "It's like Rokuro is always with the cold feet." He's like, Katsuri gave Wakamura's squad a helping hand because she didn't want to see them wind up in last place. But it'll be a big waste if they don't like use every advantage they got. They'd be wasting the effort. And he's like, how long does honor takes priority if we lose? How far does it go? What's the point of being honorable if you lose? He's like, well, that kind of thing just rubs me the wrong way. But Arashiyama. I'm trying to remember all these characters' names. He's basically, I'm seeing Wakamura from a different angle now. He's like, I'm not saying that he's totally gotten past his like inability to make decisions, but something about this call just feels different. I think he's like indicating the fact that this is the most decisive Rokudera has ever been. Like it's not him running away from a decision. This is the decision. He says that like we'll force draws as a last resort, but we should be aiming to get some real wins under our belt. So they turn to Hughes, who may have some interesting strategies, and Hughes explains that flying units might be good for offense. So, that might be the main strat. As every squad member is going to bring some ranged soldiers to fight flying units. So our odds are winning are slim if we're just hoping they forget to account for that. And basically, I guess they're saying that if these flying guys are doing the fighting, then the limited budget means they'll be weak on defense. The flying agents can float around and distract people, leaving the people who are shooting at them as sitting ducks, I guess. And yeah, he's like, you have indeed described the matchup between the different Tryon soldiers. However, given my Tryon resources, my flying units can boast both firepower and durability. So
yeah, I'm like that.
Yeah. I'm making these nice ass fucking flying ones. So, it would take no less than a full squadron of snipers to take one down. So,
sources trust me, bro.
Hop in the PJ.
Yeah, trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. Jump in my private jet Tryon soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna have a job with Boeing in like a year.
Yeah, Rokudera is basically like, oh, wouldn't it be better if we do that tomorrow?
Wow. You're crazy for that, Brian.
What?
He's crazy for that Boeing comment.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
He said your man's gonna be crashing planes. Yikes.
No, I said he's gonna have a job at Boeing. What?
Yeah, and they've been having accidents on their planes.
What the
wow.
fuck? What?
Oh, you ain't know that?
Who took it there?
I read it. Oh.
I said he's gonna have a job at Boeing, and you went straight to fucking plane crashes.
Well, they haven't been crashing planes, but they've been having a lot of hardware difficulties on the plane.
Yeah, that's why they got to hire this guy.
Yeah, they got to hire Hughes to give more armor.
Mechanical issues.
More armor to the planes.
It'll take a squadron of snipers to take down these planes.
Yeah.
But anyway, Hughes mentions that, hey, should we just do this one tomorrow and let the sniper do this whole flying sniper counter thing tomorrow? If we do it today, then the other people will be able to counter us tomorrow. And Hughes is like, let them. Assuming the other squads do come prepared with more snipers tomorrow, we can account for that with our own counter strategy. So, I'm going to counter with our counter, and we're going to counter all over. We're going to counter all over these people. Yeah. So, they're going to do that. And Miwa squad is discussing, I guess Miwa and Yoneya are like kind of discussing who's going to probably be up top. A lot of people think Utagawa, Kitazoe, Mizukami, and Wakamura squads are probably gonna do pretty well in this on this day. But Miwa thinks that the victor today is likely to be Suwa squad number 7. And we see our boy Osamu getting ready to do his thing, do his strat thing. The strat king. No one's gonna outstrat the strat king over here. Osamu Mikomo.
The rat strat king.
The rat strat king. But that is the end of World Trigger chapter 239. Big beefy chapter. But Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
I really, really enjoyed this chapter of World Trigger. I would have loved to give it the RGC, but I keep it real on this podcast for the most part. And at least when it comes to the really good chapter of the week. But anyway, so I just wanted to make a comment on something. So kind of separate from this chapter, I feel like Ashihara, that's the author, right?
Yes.
We've always said like, their character building is, top notch, and how much care and focus he puts on so many different characters, etc. But like, all right, something I've noticed about like the Tamakoma members, right? They are all like very empathetic in general. They're very like patient and understanding of people. And like we got another example of it in this chapter with what's his name again? It is on page 30. Arashiyama.
Hold on. Oh yeah. Damn. Rashiyama, I want to say. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Arashiyama.
All right, thanks. Anyway, he was the one, to speak on behalf of Wakamura, saying that he noticed how he's not, he's not, doing, I guess, like taking the easy way out with this, like with his decision making process here in this moment anyway. And I think that's important, because the other person that was making those comments with the eyes, Tsukihiko, he's a high ranking member. A lot of people respect him, and his opinion holds weight. And he's entitled to have his perspective or whatever. But it's just, I just noticed that about all the Tamakoma members, and I feel like that's not by accident. I think it's the fact that it's the fact that they've had like the most contact with neighbors in general, and they've had like members deal with extraneous circumstances, and so it's made them, I feel like, more empathetic people in general. And you see the differences between characters, like in the series, like who, and not that people. It is not even that people are like evil or nothing like that. They're just not as thoughtful or caring in general, or like patient, like with the people around them, like to have that level of understanding. I don't expect that out of every single person anyway, but I think that's just very nice, subtle character building. Shit. I think as far as the last Wakamura's like team strategy, where he was mentioning like to build those like flying crafts or whatever, it makes so much sense, because like when I first started like reading like the chapter and thinking, like I started thinking about my own, like, oh, how would I go about making like designs and like what purposes would they have? And I think just as Husei said, I probably would have tried to go in a more all around fashion, like a more balanced fashion. Just because like I want to feel like I could prepare for anything. And he was able to just, because of his, I guess, experience, he understood that, look, we have a goal to achieve, which is to win and destroy everybody else. We can, like, I have this power advantage that we can take advantage of them and guarantee us a win, and we can start with that. And then that's what he meant by discussing the council. Like, of course, okay, after we dominate people with this strategy, people are going to start to, develop, like they're going to bring more snipers. And then that's when we're going to mix it up and be more balanced and take advantage of the slower snipers, etc. So I love this. It really is like chess, just with Tryon soldiers and stuff. Osamu, yo, when that kid, what's his name in early in the chapter, with the hat, the sniper kid.
Taichi.
He's the one that made those designs.
Taichi.
Yeah, oh, you know what? Yeah, not Taichi. I'm sorry, it wasn't him. It was the kid that made the design that went on your shoulder.
Oh,
like the
OG.
laser mount.
OG.
Okay, like that made me think. Like, all right, if Osamu gets really nice with producing these like Tryon soldiers, maybe that can be like his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like his calling card. Like he'll have specific like Tryon attachments. They'll be hyper specific for certain scenarios. That would be really fucking cool.
That would be rad, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, those are pretty much all my thoughts.
Brian, what did you think?
I like this chapter a lot more than most of the shit that happened in the past for this past arc, just because I feel like I finally have something that I can bite on, like something that I actually will probably end up caring about later on in the series, right? Because now I feel like if they just sprinkled in a little bit of real life application, this arc would be so much better. But a lot of it so far has not been applicable to how the series is going to be when they're on the away mission. Like here, I feel like them adding that little tidbit where it's like, oh, I just felt like making it to see how useful it would be more than just like, how it would be in the battle simulation. I'm like, oh shit, maybe that's something that's going to come up later in the series, right? But so far, it's just been a lot of hoopla, like a lot of nothing.
Hoopla.
So it's nice to finally get something that I feel like I can care about with this battle simulation. Also, my boy Osamu getting some flowers at the end of the chapter. They're like, oh shit, yo, this motherfucker is smart, so they're probably gonna win. I hope it ends up like that.
Let's not forget, Osamu's a nerd. He'll make it.
We forgot. It's been a while since Osamu has been like top dog. It's been a bit. So it's nice to finally see him kind of. I hope he ramps back up to where he belongs in this arc. Because I felt like this is something that's right up his alley, and he hasn't really been utilized as much as he should have. But that's probably partially because he's not the guy in charge, right? And he's trying to be more like more helpful rather than be the guy who has the reins. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, he's just not the captain in this situation.
Yeah. I'm sure if Osamu was the captain in this scenario, they would be like fragging out. But Suwa has been doing a really great job. So I can't really complain.
All right. Well, I guess I'll get into my thoughts. I thought this was a really good chapter as well. I as much as I do enjoy World Trigger's tendency to just get super in depth and deep about like process stuff or world building things, like the mechanics of the world. I have been a little on and off with this arc in that sense. Like I'm here for the character stuff for sure, because I think that stuff has been super interesting, but sometimes like the technical aspects of it can be kind of overwhelming, especially since like the battle sims aren't really conducive to like interesting comic book format, because it's a turn-based system game. So it's kind of hard to follow in that sense, or like not as interesting to follow. But this was a really fun one because, like Brian said, I think these are gonna probably come back later. I feel like the border is gonna pick the better designs and try and implement them in their own way.
Try on and
they're gonna try on implement try on implement them in their own special ways. So
that was funny.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun read, and it's always good to see how every character solves these like special problems. The battle sims are one thing, but every time they throw them like these special assignments and curveballs, there's always an invitation for unique character moments and development and all that stuff. I'm excited to see what Osamu came up with. Knowing him, it's probably going to be really like simple Tryon soldiers, and it's going to be more things that they do as players that, like he's going to keep in mind that these things are supposed to be support and not really the main show. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. I'm hoping that World Trigger is not going to be off next month, because it's had a tendency to be bi-monthly basically. But yeah, I'm excited. I really like Tai Chi's design. I thought that was super cool and smart, even though it technically doesn't like fit for the battle sims. But he mitigated that with like the traveling dog thing that snipers can run away with.
Yeah, that was sick.
Mm-hmm. And I love that shoulder mount. I thought that was like such a cool idea. But yeah, those are my thoughts on World Trigger. Fun chapter overall. Very excited for next month as usual. I love World Trigger. But without further ado, are we ready to move onward?
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right, let's get started.
Oh shit!
Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm going to toss this over to Josh.
Yeah, Undead Unluck. Chapter number 193. Unstoppable versus Unluck. Last week, we ran into Top, the unstoppable negator. He negates stopping. He was a fan favorite, a New Jump City favorite as well from the past.
Brian, the only character Brian cares about.
Oh shit, I gotta read this chapter.
That's a fact. Yeah, it's the previous chapter right before this. But basically, they ran into him. He's a hoodlum. He runs around. He steals from people.
He runs around.
And he steals, and he's mad because they kicked his mother out because she's really sick, and it's fucked up. So life is terrible. But apparently, Haruka, which is unbreakable, also from the previous loop, was there like to stop him in his childhood so that nobody got hurt, which we see reenacted in this chapter. And I guess ever since then she's just played a role in staying around in Top's life for the next few years. So we cut back to the fight going on between Top and Fuko, labeled Unluck versus Unstoppable. Your boy Top pulls up with a dropkick from hell, hits Fuko right in her guard. And Topper's like, wow, you're the second person that ever took my kicks, like Haruka. But she's a cornball, so fuck that. Like, why don't you join up with me? You know, we could both use our abilities and keep robbing people and doing other, like, corny crook shit. You know what I'm saying? And Fuko is like, Top, I'll shoot you in your motherfucking head with this bad bullet. That's not what she said. But that would have been pretty cool. But she tells him, listen, your abilities aren't meant for pulling stunts like that. There's a better way. Through Jesus Christ. So he's like, oh, you sound like Haruka and the pastor. And he tries to counter her with like a unstoppable somersault kick. And she thinks about like, damn, like in this loop, Top has a really good grasp of his abilities. But, you know, we also realize that he's a bit older, or at least definitely looks older in this loop compared to the previous. So it makes sense that he'd be a bit more advanced. But right as Fuko's thinking about that, she realizes her unlock is starting to activate, and a bunch of trees in the forest they're fighting in start to fall down exactly where Top is going because he's running so fast. It's like damn near comical how the trees are just following him. It's almost like she's tree bending, plant bending. So, but she's not. Yeah, it's just the unlock. So she pulls up and puts Top in a headlock. And he's like, God damn, she's fucking strong. But she starts to explain how, you know, my unlock works on people I have affection for. And it makes it's like, negate your luck. So Top is trying to like crash around voraciously in order to get Fuko off. And he's like, damn, like why do you have that dangerous ability inside of you? And he's like, oh, you went through a disaster when you unlocked your power, right? And she gets her off. And he makes a comment and says, the abilities we have are to seek revenge against, like, you know, the world that made us this way. And then he starts making it super personal, talking about how his personal goals, like track and field and, you know, other ventures he wanted to do was ruined by his unluck ability. And, you know, his mom is also persecuted because of her illness. It's tough shit, man. I understand. And he just says no one ever tried to help. And he tried to abide by the rules, and you know, it got me a big lump of shit. So, you know, everyone's the same. And he's like, when people are in danger, all they think about is themselves. And Fugo's like, all right. Is that really how you feel? There was one person, right? There was one person that protected you. And like they showed his sneakers, and he had some unbreakable kicks on, and that makes a lot of sense because the way he was fucking running around, ain't no Jordan surviving in that. Definitely definitely not the way they make them now. Your trainers would have been cooked hours ago. I'm not gonna lie, like you can't run fast like that in nothing conventional. Maybe some steel toe boots, but geez,
you can't run around in no Under Armours.
Nah, I'm just getting toe up. Yo, all right. Imagine having to run a mile in steel toes.
That's rough.
That should be like a
I could do it.
You lose.
Oh yeah,
I could do it.
You won't be able to walk the next day.
You're right. I'll be running.
He got you there.
I was gonna say when you recover your feet, you're gonna be able to jump over trees and shit like Samurai Jack.
Yeah, you're gonna have like a post time skip-esque power up.
Yeah, you're gonna be able that. Like you're gonna try to run to catch the bus. You're gonna run past that shit and be like, "Oh,
I guess I'm too faint."
This anymore.
Like the One Punch Man version of running.
Yeah.
Yeah, one run.
Yeah,
man.
basically. Yeah, one run man. Yeah. Oh.
One step man. You could run across the entire world in one step.
That's insane.
That's some shit that would happen in a Flash comic.
Chapter. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's some Barry Allen shit. So anyway, so Fuko is trying to convince him that there was someone there that helped him, and then she says to him, "Bad bullet tape." And he's like, "Oh." He realizes there was something in the tape on his face, which was one of those 1 month bad luck, and it caused a landslide. That's while Fuko floats on her Nimbus cloud. Pretty crazy, yo. Fuko is violating. So he's trying to run away, and then he realizes, oh shit, my mom's house is down there, about to get wrecked. Fuko gets nervous, and I get really fucking nervous too. I'm like, oh no, not a second tragedy. But everything is okay, because Haruka pulls up and says that she wrapped the house. I mean, he sees his mom and his little brother safe. I think, right? I think that's who those two people are.
Yeah.
And like she's like, yeah, I wrapped the house around in my unbreakable armor, so it's don't even worry about this landslide, right? And then out of nowhere, we see like a little, like kind of time space warp. And as soon as Haruka looks back to see what it was, this creature lets out like a huge fucking like scream, which I didn't realize what it was at first until I read it a second time. But it's like a huge yell that's so loud and so forceful that it dissipates the entire landslide. Like it blows it back and calms it down. So he met it with equal or greater force. That's buck wild with just his yell. And the crazy thing is Haruka was covering Top's ears, but her ears was destroyed. Like they're like bleeding like down, like her face and neck. And we see the person who was responsible for that was Beast. One of the forbidden, unforgivable, top tier rules from God. That guy, man. That God guy. Yeah. So he says, man, the moment I descend upon the earth, I see nature being destroyed before my eyes. Must be nice to be so privileged. What the fuck does that mean? Anyway, he says, I owe that partner of yours. I'll hunt you and take your head as a souvenir. Unluck. As Fuko already has the pistol out. She knows what time it is. Yeah. She remembers her ops. She got them bullets for him. Hopefully the whole squad pull up. I hope he doesn't scream again. That was a lot. But anyway, that's the end of the chapter. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I also like this chapter quite a bit. Every chapter was pretty much has been flying on all cylinders. Every series has been pretty good for the last few weeks. And I really enjoyed the stakes being rose with Beast pulling up. I didn't think we'd get them so immediately, but here we are. I don't remember what rank Beast was, but I remember them saying that like the two who were managed to escape the sun are weaker on the weaker end of the spectrum. So I guess this is a good first villain to take down. I'm excited to see Top kick the shit out of this guy, because I feel like that's got to happen at some point. He's going to give him the drop kick from hell.
Yeah, and he has to kick things to stop his acceleration anyway.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought that was cool. I'm very excited for what's going on here. This new Top's backstory is very interesting. It's almost like he's a very different person.
Yeah, Edge.
Very edge Top. But yeah, those are really all my thoughts on Undead Unluck. I thought it was a pretty solid chapter. I'm very excited to see how this resolves next chapter. Josh, what did you think?
Beast is yawning. He pulled up, roared, devastated one of our characters, right? And then just yawns. It says, "Oh, all right. Guess I'm gonna start getting ready to fight." You know what that means, guys? He's the strongest person in this entire series. Yeah. All these characters, he's not worried about Fugo. He's not worried about. Well, he's worried about undead. He knows what time it is with Andy. Andy's the big boy on the block. He handles big business. All right, not Beast.
Yeah, agreed.
I like how Fuko dominated the fight against Top. Like super speed, she can do it. Super speed.
Yeah, she was like it was pretty one-sided.
So like, what does she do? What does Fuko do? Like, is she just like really lucky or unlucky?
Fuko spreads bad luck to the people. To people she touches, and the stronger her affection for the person she touches, the stronger the amount of bad luck that hits them.
Mm-hmm. So that's why Andy gets rolled.
Andy gets like meteors and like apocalyptic things that happen to him if Fuko touches him.
Is that why he's on the sun?
He's on the sun to keep the Master Rules, the final villain group of the series, I imagine. He keeps them at bay by using his soul to keep them trapped in the sun.
So they're all stuck on the sun because of him?
Pretty much, yeah. Only two managed to escape him, but it's only basically because he let them.
Wait, why are they stuck on the sun?
They are let out at God's discretion. Initially, God wanted to let them all out, but Andy pulled up to the sun, inside the sun, fought all of them, one on 10 or 1 on 12, however many there are, and only allowed 2 to escape because the minimum that were permitted to escape was 2. So Andy just let 2 escape and solo doloed the rest, basically.
Yeah.
That one chapter is pretty good. You should check it out, Brian. It was like 2 chapters before this.
I honestly might just start watching the anime, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I heard the anime is like sleeper good.
I mean, Undead Unluck is a very good series.
I'll support the anime. I'll watch the anime.
Fair enough. But yeah. Josh, were those all your thoughts?
Yep.
All right. Well, that was Undead Unluck, chapter 193. Great chapter overall. Excited for next week. That has been Undead Unluck. Excuse me. And that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram. At New Gem City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. Check him out on twitch.tv/itspunchline to watch him stream video games. You can follow the show itself at New Gem City on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newgemcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we will address them on our pre-show chat show that we do every week. Tons of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying that as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. We are on there. So do the thing. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, yeah.